Hello and welcome to News Central Television. I am Likon Onobanjo. The top stories at this hour. The leadership of the People's Democratic Party meets in Bauchi State to strategize amid internal crisis. The Nigerian Labour Congress says petrol price hike harmful to 70,000 naira minimum wage. 18 killed in intercommunal clashes in Kenya. Details to come your way shortly. Let's begin by telling you that the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Nigeria, Umar Damagum, visited Governor Bala Mohammed, the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, emphasizing a commitment to strengthening party unity ahead of the 2027 elections. The meeting, which took place at the Bauchi State Government House, highlighted the need for a unified approach to overcome recent challenges that have threatened the party's cohesion. Despite the significance of the discussions, the acting chairman chose not to engage with the press regarding the ongoing issues within the party, leading to speculation about the impact of these crises on their electoral strategy.
We came as a friendly visit, but to discuss, like I earlier said, so many things. As a committed brother, me and him have come a long way, and that he has been very supportive. I want to reiterate this to my, running this party so that we stress things out, and he has also given me his commitment to continue to do so, so that we'll have one united party. I want to use this opportunity to tell Nigerians that PDP is a brand, is the only surviving party since 1998. We have tested so many turbulences. We have come out of it strong. And today, we are reorganizing ourselves, uniting ourselves to make sure that come 2027, we take what rightfully belongs to us.
We have agreed and discussed these suspensions extensively with the acting national chairman, and we have resolved to work along together with other organs of the party, the BOT, the members of the Governors Forum, the caucus of the Senate and the House to resolve all these issues. And that is the major takeaway of this visit. That henceforth will deepen stakeholding, will deepen collaboration, so that all these issues that are disparaging the members of the party will be resolved and nip in the bud.
To discuss the leadership crisis in the PDP, we are joined by a chieftain of the party and former Ogun State governorship candidate, Segun Shomi. Mr. Shomi, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
For having you. Good evening.
All right. Now, the leadership crisis playing out in the PDP is that of suspension and counter-suspension over alleged anti-party activities and the role of the acting chairman and the secretary of the party in the Rivers State political logjam. What is your perspective to this?
First, let me try and, set some easy-to-understand process. According to the information available to me, a normal NWC meeting took place, and in that NWC meeting, among the activities of the day was the conversation as to bringing up the issues around the two suspended officers, that is the National Publicity Secretary, Debo Agba, and the National Legal Advisor. Available information suggests that it was part of ESCO consideration, and after all said and done, their colleagues tried as much as to say that after subjecting it to a vote, they will tell them to step aside, set up a proper committee led by the Vice Chairman Southwest Ambassador Arakpaja, and a few others to consider the issues that is under discussion and then report back. Any sane person will know that is the normal procedure for a party without getting into the rightness or otherwise of the action. As far as I know, Honorable Debo Ologunagba, the National Public Secretary, is not in the country presently, is in Canada. How he managed to quickly concoct another meeting, have it within ESCO, and come up with that press release, which clearly says that they have suspended the chairman and the secretary, is the least extremely childish. It is like saying that a board of directors in a bank have a meeting and suspend one of their own, and that fellow goes out of the meetings after being excused and then tells the media that I've also suspended the MD and the secretary of the bank. This is all just too childish. Now, what makes it even worse is that you see high responsible members of our party genuflexing, acting as if something normal has taken place. You have seen the national chair, the acting national chairman, Damagun, with the chairman of our governors forum. Nothing in that engagement suggests that that is a suspended man. At best, what you heard the chairman of our party say is that now that things are at this level, some element of conversations will take place. So it becomes a bit offensive when you see the likes of our party members who are supposed to know better run to the media, begins to tell lies, rewrite the narrative, speak on top of their voices, pretend as if what has happened is normal or sensible. And I have put this on the table without going into the rightness or otherwise of the action.
Okay, so I understand.
They make the situation worse for the party.
Yeah, Mr.
Because
Shomi,
when we finally get to where we have to take this decision, can I just allow my thought? When we get to where we have to take this decision, the question will then be, how do we tell the public that nothing of such took place with the national chairman and the secretary? Okay,
we understand that part, Mr. Shomi. What we actually want to also establish is the allegation around anti-party activities. Let us understand who, of course, or which persons were engaged in such, and what are the activities that are being termed as anti-party that forms the fulcrum for the accusation or for the move for a suspension of either Ologunagba or maybe the acting chairman. We want to understand what, activities went into what is being termed as anti-party for the PDP.
Very good. Now, can I now respond to this?
Go ahead, sir.
The National Working Committee of a political party, of the PDP, is the organ saturated with the responsibility, saddled with the responsibility for the day-to-day administration of the party and its well-being. We have some other organs that also have an ability to weigh in. Among those that have the ability to weigh in is the NEC, the National Executive Committee of the party, which until it is convened, no conversation can take place from it. We have the BOT, which angles as the conscience of the party, that has advisory and persuasive responsibility by our constitution. But the constitution of a political party does not give room for private interpretation of what is right and what is wrong. Now, this word, anti-party activity, I have become a little bit uncomfortable with it because we have been screaming anti-party activities from where, if you like, you want to go very far, you can go as far as 2015. Now, we've carried that same token of anti-party till 2019. In 2019, we carried anti-party to 2023. Post-2023, we're still screaming anti-party. I am of the view that going forward, we now need to create an operational manual that lists out what is anti-party and the recommended punishment. Otherwise, if we're not careful, we're going to empty the party all in a bid to do tit for tat and just suspending yourself and just acting childishly.
So,
and we need to tell ourselves in very clear language, nobody in Nigeria is interested in this unending crisis in the party. And those who have responsibility have to know the limit of their powers. You can make accusation of anti-party. We have a disciplinary committee set up. You have the right to write a petition to them and they will consider it. But if you want to use your voice to demarcate the party, to call out people that you can't prove allegations against them, to make outlandish comment, and even to tell lies.
Oh, okay, so basically what you're saying now is that the party does not have...
Where does that leave the party? So as far as this particular event is concerned, there is no truth to what they are saying. The only potential suspension that exists that can be validated by the ESCO minutes is the suspension of the National Legal Advisor and that of the Publicity Secretary. No Publicity Secretary can take advantage of having the lines of the party and the communication interface of the party to write whatever he wants to write and try to make it the fact of the matter. And if anything of sort took place, then it would be nice for them to provide where that meeting took place. We cannot, in a bid to throw the baby and the bathwater away, all become crazy at the same time. All
right, we understand, Mr. Showomi. So, invariably, you're saying that the PDP does not have a guideline that stipulates what constitutes anti-party activities. So then, one might not be able to say categorically that one is fraught or one is faulty in terms of violating the constitution of the PDP in line of what constitutes anti-party. But then we have a faction or several factions in the party. One that is loyal to Ologunagba, Anyanwu, Damagum, and of course one other person, I can't really remember now. Don't you think this factionalization in the party would actually cause a crack and probably tear down the influence, the political influence that PDP has, because we're looking at 2027 general elections coming up. Now, don't you think that would cause a problem for the party?
Don't be in a hurry, and I want to beg the media, don't be in a hurry. Everybody cannot be claiming they have a faction just because they have the tongue and the lips to say so. There are no such factions in the party. The governor, the chairman of our governors forum, Governor Bala Tinubu, made that very clear, abundantly clear, that we don't recognize any such faction. There might be some people who have issues. The channels available for them to ventilate their grievances is there. But, I mean, it would be laughable to quickly now say that we have reduced it to that kind of joke. And that's why I decided to answer your call to come and provide some clarification so we can stop this childishness. In a few minutes, in the next couple of days, I'm sure that the neck of the party will take a decision. And when we get to that neck, those far-reaching decisions will be taken. Why? Because the constitution of our party empowers the neck to do so. But pending when the neck has come to take a decision, the only organ that has powers to speak on behalf of the party and to take decision of the party is the NWC, and as presently constituted under the leadership of the acting national chairman, Ilyasu Damagun. You don't have to like him, but that's the fact.
All right, Mr. Shegun Showomi, thank you so much for your passionate explanation on the news. We appreciate your contribution. Thank you. Let's move on now on the news. We will go on a break, and when we return, we'll tell you about the local government election floor. PLASIC chairman decries abduction of ad hoc staff freed, set to have been freed later. We'll be back to talk about this and bring you all the stories in a bit. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. The chairman of the Plateau State Independent Electoral Commission, Plangji Sishak, has condemned in strong terms what he revealed as abduction of an ad hoc staff of his commission while on official duty, which Hosea was on electoral duties in Mango local government area during the October 9, 2024 local council election, when he was whisked away by unknown people before he was rescued by a team of combined security forces 48 hours after. News Central's Chizoba Anyowe tells us more.
The 2024 local government election in Plateau State has come and gone with its pros and cons. Apart from voter apathy, as reported in some quarters, One other sad incident was what stakeholders termed as the abduction of a Plasiek ad hoc staff while on duty in Mangu Council area. Chairman of Plasiek did not mince words while condemning the act, insisting the miscreants will face the full wrath of the law.
I am going to take this thing very personal. You cannot abduct the life of a platoon man and keep him for 48 hours because of election. And in that respect, that those polling units that felt that they cannot even listen to security will not allow that to happen. Elections have to be repeated in those 3 places to ensure, and whatever maximum support we'll get from security, we must get it from that to ensure that the proper thing is done.
The ad hoc staff, who settled for what he didn't bargain for on the election day, narrated his ordeal in the hands of his abductors. He was weeks away, forced to collate results of the wards, which wasn't his responsibility.
Every attempt to intervene, myself was not allowed to move. He was not there trying to reach out to my CEO. There were network challenges and other things like that. So the security came, I think, at different times, trying to intervene, but I was not allowed to be moved. I used the initial permission he granted via text, and I was able to do the collation and finish up the election process so that I can be free of that place.
Commander of Operation Rainbow, who doubles as special advisor to the governor on security, commended the cooperation of security agencies and that of Plasiek in ensuring the safety and release of the ad hoc staff.
After 48 hours, as far as we're concerned, it became a case of abduction, because the law has various channels for you to, seek redress if you are not satisfied with an election, not to hold someone hostage. And that's why we took the steps that we took, So it was a combined effort of all the security agencies, the military, the police, the civil defense, and Operation Rainbow, to get him out.
How this incident ends, most likely as a deterrent to other lawbreakers, is what the people of Plateau State look forward to seeing. In Jos for News Central, Chizoba Anyonwe.
And now to the recent hike in fuel price. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, says it is extreme of President Bola Tinubu to allow an increase in the price of petrol while he is vacationing in comfort. Tinubu is currently on his annual vacation in Europe. In a post on X, Obi said he praised Tinubu acts in the best interest of the citizens before returning to the country because many Nigerians are living under unnecessary precarious conditions. On October 9, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited increased the price of petrol across its retail outlets nationwide. The petrol price adjustments has aggravated the country's economic crisis, stoking the operating cost of businesses amid fears that inflation could worsen. In the meantime, the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Ajaero, says the recent petrol price hike is harmful to the 70,000 naira minimum wage recently approved for workers. In an interview with journalists, Ajaero said the organs of the Labour Union will meet next week to decide their line of action on the petrol price hike. Recall that in July, President Bola Tinubu signed the minimum wage bill, increasing the workers' pay package from 30,000 naira to 70,000 naira into law. The price of petrol was around 700 naira per litre when the minimum wage bill was signed into law. The NLC president said the new petrol price hike will be resisted, noting that the new minimum wage was agreed upon when the pump price was 700 naira per litre. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has declared oil mogul Bolaji Akinduro wanted for alleged fraud. A statement by the EFCC urged the public to provide information on Akinduro's whereabouts. 51-year-old Akinduro is the executive chairman of Total Great Oil and Gas Investments Limited. Akinduro is accused of obtaining money under false pretense and committing stealing by conversion. He is an Ondo indigene and he's been advised to report to the EFCC offices in either Ibadan, Uyo, Sokoto, Maiduguri, Benin, Makadi, Kaduna, Ilorin, Enugu, Kano, Lagos, Gombe, Port Harcourt, or Abuja. In a related development, a whistleblowing coalition, the Coalition of Anti-Corruption Civil Society Organizations for Development, has raised an alarm over alleged misappropriation of funds ongoing in the nation's Ministry of the Niger Delta Development. The group, while calling on the federal government and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to verify the claims, investigate the permanent secretary of the ministry, they say they want those said to be complicit in the allegations to be brought to book. The group spoke to newsmen in Abuja, accusing the ministry of refusing to respond to its Freedom of Information request, while highlighting allegations it is seeking answers from the ministry.
The countless infractions committed include non-execution/diversion of 30 million naira for medical outreach of staff of the Ministry of Niger Delta Development. It was not done. Non-execution/diversion of 21 million for skills development seminar in Akoko, Edo State. Non-execution/diversion of 19.3 million for skills development in Ilaje, local area of Ondo State. Diversion of 342 million for extra budgetary allocation proposed for rice palliatives. Misappropriations like diversion of 15 billion naira flood palliative for Niger Delta region. Most alarming recently is this diversion of 342 million for extra budgetary allocation proposed allegedly for rice palliative for Niger Delta. While there are no budgetary provisions for procurement of bags of rice, in the 2023 budget, we are aware that on the 22nd of May 2024, the Permanent Secretary gave instructions for 5 departments to raise a total sum of 342 million naira. The departments are Infrastructure Development, Economic and Empowerment Department, Community Development and Education Department, Urban and Housing Department, and Environment Management Department.
From that, as the multinational joint task force continues its mission for peace building and to eliminate terrorist remnants in the Lake Chad area, a solemn event took place to honor wounded soldiers and the families of soldiers who died in the line of duty during Operation Lake Sanity 2. The event took place at the Officers' Mess Mimilari Military Cantonment in Maiduguri. News Central's Mark Rawa completes the report.
War against terrorists in the Lake Chad area is continuing, with armed forces focused on clearing the remnants of antisocial elements. These sometimes lead to soldiers being wounded in action and others paying the supreme price, leaving families in pain and anguish. This ceremony served not only as a tribute, but also as a reminder of the personal sacrifices made by military families. Families of the deceased soldiers and commanders expressed their deep gratitude for the continued support of the multinational joint task force.
We are living peaceful because of you people. May Allah guide you and continue to protect you. Thank you, sirs.
As we move forward, remember that your loved ones' sacrifices will never be forgotten. The nation acknowledges their valor and commitment.
Officials of the multinational joint task force highlighted the importance of community support for these families, pledging ongoing assistance and solidarity.
We offer this token as a small gesture of our immense gratitude and respect. Your loved ones served with honor, distinction, and commitment to a noble cause. Though their absence is deeply felt, their spirit remains alive through the peace and stability they fought to achieve. To our wounded soldiers, your courage and resilience are an inspiration to us.
This event marks a significant moment for the region as it continues to confront the challenges posed by terrorism.
The operation, like I said, we conducted helped us to achieve some level of success. Around the Lake Chad Basin area, the situation has improved, but there's still more work to be done.
The Operation Lake Sanity 2, aimed at eradicating remnants of terrorist groups in the Lake Chad region, has seen sacrifices from the troops involved, and officials said more effort will be deployed. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Now there's drama in Nigeria's National Petroleum Company Limited as some members of staff of the company have accused the Chief Human Resources Executive of using a position to disobey a valid court order. This is related to a leadership crisis within the Staff Multipurpose Cooperative Society, where the FCT High Court in Maitama, Abuja, sacked the executives of the society several years ago. The staff are accusing the HR executive of allowing her chosen management committee to conduct an election of new executives into the society, a decision barred by the court in 2020.
Chief Human Resources Officer of the NNPC Limited, Fatima S. Nyakubu, has been using her privileged position to undermine the order of the court, undermine the authority of the court. Ordinarily, this person's restraint ordinarily would have been a bit apprehensive of the consequences of the order. But this particular woman, using her privileged position, like I said, has been the one fueling everything. They have gone ahead to conduct this election. And this election of the management committee couldn't have been made possible except the woman, the head of human resources, Chief Human Resources Officer of the NNPC, Fatima S. Nyakubu, except it wouldn't be possible for the fact that she gave them the portal of NNPC Limited to use, to communicate, and then ensure that the election was held, and then electing new management committee of the cooperative, when the order of the court is still pending and subsisting. And now, even as lawyers, we also know that for the fact that a matter is pending in court, it is typically expressed as least pennies. That when a matter is pending in court, no party to the proceedings should do anything that will force a fait accompli. That's like making the order of the court that he would have made at the end of the matter nugatory.
The National Union of Road Transport Workers has turned to technology to protect drivers and passengers, many of them victims of Abuja's notorious one-chance syndicates. The union, in collaboration with some stakeholders, unveiled the Sure Drivers app, expected to help protect passengers and drivers from criminal elements operating along major roads of the federal capital. Amadine Uyi reports.
Despite Abuja being branded as the federal capital city, the notoriety of one-chance syndicate gangs has come to be feared by many plying their very many busy routes. Faith Chibuke, one of the victims, describes her experience.
They started beating us. Like we couldn't imagine that kind of a thing happening to us, like two sisters. I had so many thoughts in my head. What would happen to us? What would be the story? Like two sisters that went to work, and what would be the reports from my office or from my colleagues? They withdrew more than $1 million plus from my account. As if that was not enough, they placed call across to my boss here. They demanded for a ransom of 2 million naira.
While stakeholders say the rate of crime attributed to these syndicates are increasing, they express worry at the safety of victims and drivers, calling for something to be done.
The prevalence of criminal activities targeting travelers, commuters, create an atmosphere of fear and insecurity. The time has come for us to adopt innovative strategies and leverage the power of IT technology, not only to protect road users, but also to deter criminal activities before they occur.
Majority of them, we know how many that could not make it back. You know how many that was abused? We've been hearing stories about those that was disfigured at the process of entrusting the driver simply because they want to join the cab to get to their destination. But unfortunately, they couldn't make it.
With this in mind, the National Union of Road Transport Workers and several transport stakeholders have turned to technology to help solve this problem, while unveiling an app that can track and detect one-chance syndicates. They say this makes Abuja roads safer.
Short driver also is a baby project of the National Union of Road Transport Workers FCT Council. And that is why we embrace it. We provide the block to lay the foundation, which is the drivers themselves, the steering handling drivers. Security, like the saying goes, is everybody's business. So we have to be secure to make money. We have to be secure to spend the money. We have to be secure to feed family and raise family.
They are calling on residents to utilize the app to help fast-track perpetrators of crime along Abuja roads. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Both matters now. The International Red Cross, the Red Crescent Movement, the Norwegian Red Cross and the Nigerian Red Cross Society have tasked humanitarian service providers in the country to engage with the 36 state governments to ensure that they pay more attention to the outbreak of infectious diseases. This was during a capacity building training of health professionals in Abuja on mpox surveillance, case management, infection, prevention and control, as well as risk communication and community engagement.
We can draw the attention of government in one manner or the other to ensure that government is able to respond the way we are supposed to do. Where we are now, the situation, like we have had some experiences with Ebola, Lassa fever, and some other pandemics, we are now seeing from scientific reports that most of these diseases are now manipulating their existence to give us another face which has to be addressed. And so we need all of us there to be innovative.
COVID started some time ago. At some point, we thought it was going away. It was already gone, maybe. But we realized that the strains started changing, metamorphosing into different levels. And it became a bit deadly and more difficult to contain. I hope we will not actually go into that kind of situation. We will not reach that kind of situation. We need to scale up.
Youth participation in politics and leadership is vital for the growth of any nation. Recognizing this, the Akwa Ibom State Youth Executives have made it a priority to engage youth involvement in leadership roles. On July 13, 2024, they took a significant step in this direction by conducting an election that led to the emergence of Honorable Otuokong Uwemobong Isogo as the new youth leader. To celebrate this milestone, the Akwa Ibom State Community Youth Wing in Lagos held a gathering where Honorable Isogo outlined his vision for the future.
The reason we are here is to ensure we bring in the youths of Akwa Ibom State together wherever, just globally, we bring them together. There is that synergy that we are trying to build between the youths of the different chapters. So once we are done with that, we'll be able to forge ahead. We want to be carried along, identify with the Ministry of Youth and Sports so that whatever project the state government is having for the youth of the state will be extended to the youth in diaspora.
Being Lagos is involved, there is need for we to unite as the youth wing and reason in a more vibrant way, in a positive way. And we are here so that we can collate all the Akwa Ibomites, the youth, both within Sulere and outside Sulere, so that we can think of a positive way of impacting our people that stays in Lagos environment.
When you talk about the youths,
you are talking about the future of the community. When you talk about the youth, you are talking about the future of Nigeria. When you talk about the youth, you are talking about energetic a set of people that are very focused, very determined, very, very, very eager to make success.
Lagos State government, Bayelsa State government and other stakeholders on Friday said technological innovation has contributed to the ease of doing business and government operations in several states. The commendation comes at a gala ceremony held in Lagos as the special advisor to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on taxation and revenue, Okpeyemi Ogunbo, who represented the Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat, hailed Soft Alliance for being a pioneering force in technological innovations. The managing director of the software firm thanked Lagos State government for believing in their ability to deliver for the past 20 years.
Success is woven with visionary leadership. From the outset, the founding leader envisioned a company that will embrace the challenges of the tech industry and set new benchmarks for others to follow.
We take great pride in the milestones we have achieved. We have successfully executed complex projects. We have delivered bespoke solutions, custom solutions, and most importantly, we have built long-lasting relationships with clients who trust us to deliver value.
Coming up on the news, 18 killed in inter-communal clashes in Kenya. We will bring you details of this story and others when we return from this break. Don't go away. We take you to East Africa to tell you that intercommunal clashes in southeastern Kenya have killed at least 18 people in the past 2 weeks, police said on Saturday, as security was boosted in the affected areas. Interior Minister Kithure Kindiki declared 12 areas of Tana River County dangerous and disturbed due to the clashes, which have pitted communities of pastoralists against resettled flood victims. Kenya's National Police Chief Douglas Kanja ordered residents to surrender their firearms to prevent a further escalation of violence. The fighting, which has been most severe in the town of Bura, began when the county government offered land to Riom people displaced by flooding on the banks of Tana River, the longest in Kenya. Local pastoralists protested, arguing that those people being relocated would be occupying their grazing grounds. And the government of Namibia has sought the help of Nigeria's Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in its fight against corruption in the country. This was just as it declared that because Nigeria is leading in the fight against corruption in Africa, it needs to share its remarkable achievements in fighting corruption. According to a statement cited on the Commission's website on Saturday, the partnership is aimed at exploring training opportunities as well as sharing of expertise with personnel of the Namibian Anti-Corruption Commission in the fight against corruption. The statement noted that the Namibian government made the call on when its ambassador to Nigeria, Humphrey Gacy, paid a courtesy call to the ICPC headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. Outside the shores of Africa, we tell you that Iran's Parliament Speaker Mohammad Ghalibaf on Saturday denounced Israel's crimes as he visited the site of the deadliest Israeli strikes on central Beirut in recent weeks. A source close to Hezbollah had said Thursday night strikes in the densely populated Basta neighborhood and the nearby Imwiri district had targeted the Iran-backed Lebanese group's security chief, Wafik Safar. While neither Israel's military nor Hezbollah confirmed Safar was the target or commented on his fate, Lebanon's health ministry said the strikes killed at least 22 people. the deadliest inside the capital in weeks of escalation.
جمهوری اسلامی ایران از تصمیمات دولت لبنان، ملت لبنان و مقاومت در این زمان در زمینه‌های مختلف حتما حمایت خواهد. من در سفر امروز که به مقصد بیروت اومدم، از تهران اومدم به بیروت که سلام گرم ملت ایران رو و دولت ایران رو، مجلس ایران رو و به ویژه پیام رهبر معظم انقلاب رو به مردم لبنان برسونم که مطمئن باشید جمهوری اسلامی ایران در این شرایط سخت کنار ملت لبنان، دولت لبنان و مقاومت در همه.
We also tell you that Poland's leader said on Saturday that he plans to temporarily suspend the right to asylum as part of a new migration policy, pointing to its alleged abuse by eastern neighbor Belarus and Russia. Prime Minister Donald Tusk said that the state must regain 100% of the control over who enters and leaves Poland, and that a territorial suspension of the right to asylum will be part of a strategy that will be presented to a cabinet meeting on Tuesday. He did not give details, but said at a convention of a civic coalition that his government will reduce illegal migration in Poland to a minimum.
Więc jeśli ja na przykład dzisiaj głośno powiem, że jednym z elementów strategii migracyjnej będzie czasowe, terytorialne zawieszenie prawa do azylu, i będę się domagał uznania w Europie dla tej decyzji. To dlatego, bo my dobrze wiemy, jak to jest wykorzystywane przez Łukaszenkę, Putina, przez szmuglerów, przemytników ludzi, handlarzy ludzi, jak to prawo do...
Up next on the news is sports stories.
Ikorodu City Football Club made history by clinching their first ever win in the Nigeria Premier Football League with a commanding 3-0 win over two-time league champions Bendel Insurance at the Mobola Johnson Arena in Lagos. Ikorodu City took control in the second half with Review Ajaero breaking the deadlock in the 48th minute. Kelechi Onwe doubled their lead just 8 minutes later, and Toyiba Jeyigbe scored the third goal in the 74th minute, sealing a comfortable win for the Lagos-based club. The defeat marked Bendel Insurance's biggest loss in the NPFL since March 2008, while they were beaten 3-0 by Heartland Football Club. This victory leaves only Yakwa United and Bayelsa United without a win in the NPFL this season, as Ikorodu City aims to build on this impressive performance and establish themselves in the Nigeria's elite football league. Liverpool duo of Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah have returned to Liverpool earlier than expected after being released from international duty. Netherlands captain Virgil van Dijk was sent off during his side's 1-1 draw with Hungary on Friday and is suspended for Monday's Nations League match against Germany. Egypt's captain Mo Salah scored in a 2-0 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier in Cairo on Friday. Salah had been expected to feature in Tuesday's return fixture, but like Van Dijk, he has been released early. This is a boost for Liverpool's manager Arne Slot, whose side hosts Chelsea in the Premier League on Sunday, the 20th of October. In basketball, Liberia's mighty Petrol secured a crucial 73-69 victory over Ghana's Spintex Knights, ending their two-game losing streak in the Road to BAL 2025 tournament. Both teams making their debut appearance in the Road to the Basketball Africa League showcased intense competition from the opening games. The Spintex Knights defeated Elon Cotton of Benin, marking the first victory by a Ghanaian team in the Road to BAL history, a significant feat after Braves Customs went winless in 2019. Barrow started with a loss to former African champions ABC Fighters, who outclassed the Liberian side 88-69 points, securing the top spot in Group B. This victory lifts Barrow's record, giving them a chance to fight for progression in the tournament. South Africa cruised to a 7-wicket win over Bangladesh to edge closer to the Women's T20 World Cup semi-finals on Saturday, although their tournament destiny lies in the hands of England and West Indies. After limiting Bangladesh to just 106-3 in 20 overs, South Africa reached their target with 16 balls to spare. With 3 wins and 1 defeat, they sit top of Group B with 6 points. 2009 champions England, with 2 wins so far and with 2 games still to play, are likely to secure one of the semi-final spots. That would leave South Africa and West Indies vying for the last place. And that's a wrap on Sport Update. I am Udoka Njoku.
And that's all at this hour. But before we go, we'll look at our top stories again. The leadership of the People's Democratic Party is met in Bauchi State to strategize amid internal crisis. Nigeria Labour Congress has said petrol price hike harmful to 70,000 naira minimum wage. We also told you that 18 people have been killed in intercommunal clashes in Kenya. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, StarTimes channel 274, Avo TV and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Likon Onobanjo.